Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on SortTables, a data analysis tool, and lately we've been replacing the piece that configures the database. It used to use SwiftUI objects, and now, objects in SwiftUI with observed objects or observable objects, and now we're switching to use structs and bindings and so on. We did this so that, to avoid some complications in the old model, basically, and modernize it according to what SwiftUI seems to like. So the content of that has gone pretty well. A few bumps, but now we've got to do some cleaning up. So the last thing we did, we checked that joins were working, and there was sort of a weird case. So let me see if I can demonstrate that. All right, so when in here, we've got test2.db, and we added a join like registration class equals class ID, and then a corresponding one, registration person equals person ID. Okay. Now, if we did it like this, taking everything, it works fine. The problem is if you don't include registration, we have an issue. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, so we would like to have, we would have liked to kind of merge those two classes, and instead we get this kind of cross product of each with each. Now, I put something in to see the query. See if I can find that now. I may have taken it out. No, I'll let it be. At any rate, the issue is that it didn't join based on those things, and I think what happened, just kind of digging in a little after last night's show actually officially ended, when you hide that registration table, it can't find it doesn't see it in the list of valid tables, and so it can't query across it. I don't think this is a question about our interface or join or anything. We're specifying it correctly, I think. It's more a limitation that said that every class that's going to be used must appear somewhere. And I do want to pursue it, so let me add something to the to-do about it. Make joins work even if not all tables visible, e.g. registration. Okay, so registration gives you that many-to-many relationship, and so you don't really need to display it. It doesn't have any properties that are of interest other than linking the two tables or three tables. All right, so I want to let that one go because I don't think that's a consequence of the changes we're making around tables and joins. I think it's a consequence of the way the system interprets the contents for the search. I may be wrong. I mean, but I have other stuff I want to do first. Okay, so investigate why joins not seen to be used. Right. I think we know the answer. Let's see. So this to write it as the task. Currently, joins only work if the join table is included as a visible table. Okay. Now I think that may be, I believe it may have been that way the whole time. I don't know. I'm not going to track it down because it's a future problem. All right, so I left it as a future problem to solve. Now, the other thing I noticed on this, let's see. I have lost it. it's something we had to do. Okay, yeah, it'll come back to me, I guess. Now, we went through a little bit yesterday because the joins specify things by table number rather than by table name. Oh, that's it, the renaming. So I think I was talking about dropping the renaming, and I realized why you can't. Okay, so even in this 3-table situation, we have one that demonstrates it. So here, instructor foreign key relates to a person, all right? Because the teacher is a person, they can take classes, they can give classes. But if we only let you specify one person table, then you have to choose. Are you talking about the student or are you talking about the instructor? And so the normal way to do this is to create a second reference to the table and then like link this one to that second person table to get the teacher name. All right. So is the hidden table not in the selected tables list? So the table index. Yeah, I think it's basically that. I don't think we have the metadata in the we don't seem to grab all the tables as metadata and see which ones are referenced even in joins. We seem to have only dealt with the ones in the ones that show up in the visible stuff. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely not to minimize it. It's going to be a real problem. I mean, it's very annoying anyway. You have a workaround, but it's annoying. Okay, but anyway, the way with databases, I remember now why I had let you put the same table twice and then renaming and so on, because you might have one person table being the student, one being the instructor. Same thing, we had families where we had people with a relationship table that said parent and child. Again, we can't, we'd like to see the parent name and the child name, and if we have one table, we can't. We have to choose. So that's why I've allowed renaming before. I have taken that away, so I've reduced the functionality, but I'm going to again put a note in to allow creating new table references to the same table and renaming it, e.g. instructor and student both need person. Okay. All right. And we always wanted to add the field renaming just so that your display up here doesn't reflect whatever was done in the database. Okay. And I think they're both good things. I mean, it doesn't take going very deep till you hit this problem. I mean, in a 3-table situation, you've already got this problem going on. Actually, you could do it 2 and maybe even 1. So we'll put it on our list for future work. I don't have an end of work for this for sure. There's plenty to be done, but I think what I'd like to do is focus us on we've switched from objects to structs here, and SwiftUI seems to like structs better in some sense. And so I have these notification things. I don't know if I can find one quickly. If we can find, database view model, and it has, let's see, where are those? Yeah, it deals with cancellables, and it needs that because the active tables model and the active join model, these things also have cancellables, and the cancellables are, I'm setting up a network of notifications, and if I want my view to update based on database view model, which also needs active table model and active join model, if they change, nothing directly updates that. If the top level one changes, yeah, it's got a direct line of sight. But if you got nested, then down here 2 or 3 levels, they need to say, hey, parent, you've changed. And then the parent can say, hey, I've changed. And the view can say, oh, great. But it introduces that overhead of doing that, which is really was really hard to find. I mean, just setting it up in the first place was a mind twister, and it's not appealing to me from a solution point of view, having to do this. If everything just notified when it needed to, automatically, I would live with that. But with this, there's no automatic about it. We have to make sure that things are writing cancellables, and then there's questions about making sure everything's going away and they're not just being created or something. It's all pretty awkward. And in reality, the structs kind of handle that problem, because they're value objects. If they change, whoever's holding them has a new object, and they can detect that and pass it along pretty easily. So I think our end result is much cleaner. Now we are missing a function that is in the old one. And let's see, where's active joins? Yeah, join view model. This thing does some checking. So join checker is a function. I don't know where it's coming from, but somewhere here. Well, let's find join checker. Who calls this? We don't enforce those join rules. Join view model, database view model. Join checkers assess joins. Okay. Yeah, we saw this code the other day, but we haven't included it per se. All right, but we want to check our join model to make sure we want to make sure like every table is used, every table is linked to another table, and we don't want this cross product stuff because it just blows up the size. All right, so let me add that to the let's see, check. I'll call them constraints, but I don't know if they're really a constraint. Check joins to constraints as database view model assess does. And not assess. It's Christmas, but not quite relevant. Okay. All right. So that rule checking, I'd like to add that. I don't know where it is now, but I mean, we're not using it now. So if you did something, well, let's delete this one. If you delete this one, now person doesn't show up as a link, and so we're going to take all classes times all people, which is kind of what we saw in the background there. And that cross product is almost never right for our situations. And I mean, when it is, it's almost like an accident. Okay. I'm ready to talk about today. All right. The big thing I want to do is remove the old add table and join. And then once we've done that, I want to assess database view model. And like this active tables thing, I don't think we need it anymore. We may need to include some metadata information in our database selection, but I feel like database view model is almost everything it does is being done by this. Not everything as we just saw, but a lot. All right. So let's start in, and I think we're going to start from the view. Well, I can't see it now, but we have, well, okay, here I do have it still. Many tables, all right, is a view. So let's go find that. Many tables. Oof. Many tables view. Okay. So here's many tables, and I don't think it's being used at this point. Right. Okay. So let's get rid of that. Move to trash. Okay. And then many joins. Same thing. I don't think it's being used. All right. Many joins. Okay, and these model.add table method. That's interesting. Database view model. Look for add table. Well, when the database name changes, it adds tables. I guess we already know this has a reference. It's used up here. Well, I think we can say it's private now, if nothing else. And then database view. There must be an add join. Yep. Can I go back? No. All right, so that function is no longer used. I'm gonna Okay, he's the one that passes assessed joins in. And why he passes it and then calls it is weird to me. Let's see about this one. Okay, places out there use it. All right, good to know. All right, let's get rid of this code. Yeah. Already built. Did not build. Oh, lots of tests use it. Interesting. Okay, we'll take the private off. But they're on notice to me. I don't know. Add join. Oh. Can we? Okay. Yeah, I feel like some of those are going to go away, but we'll take it piecewise. Also, I don't expect anybody to really fall apart at this point. It's UI stuff that we're not testing in general through these unit tests. Oh, I do have a print query going on in there. Saw it go by. Yeah. Okay, we printed the query there. Well. All right, let's run and make sure. And we'll just look at this one table. Okay. Now, is that really a problem? No. Okay. I feel like I'm getting old messages here. Yeah. All right. Let's commit that. Why is many joins view not in here? We'll double check. All right. So remove did view code for many tables and many joins. Join view is the one we just did. Is that true? No. Okay. All right. Slightly better. Okay, so database view. Let me look at that. That's a little awkward here. Okay, now I keep thinking of things. Okay, here's another one. It's either not all tables are available for joins. They're in database selection. When you mark them as selected, let me make sure I'm following you here. Not all tables are available for the joins. I think they are all available. Class, person, registration. They're in database selection when you mark them as selected. Database selection in the configuration view. Yeah, I think that problem goes to, it's something about how it decides what tables are there. And I think, maybe this is a problem we've introduced. Let's go to that database. Where's database view model? This may be an interpretation of this, but I think it's like what names show up in the table names, and really they should be, yeah, I just don't know. For name to index conversion. Yeah, I think for name to index conversion, they don't have a name to convert to, so they're complaining. And I think the question is if you put these table names in, do they show up as selected columns? I guess they would not. All right. So, oh boy, I don't know what this means for the queries. I think what's going on is when we populate the table names, we just go through here and we take any table that's got visible fields. But that's not enough, as the registration case shows. This should be valid. Well, if I do this, well, I'll do this too. Sorry, make it a complete example before I complain. All right. So I think what's happening is we go through and say, what are the table names? Class, yes, that's active. Person, yes, that's active. Registration, no, that's not active. But it really is active when it participates in a join. Now, should every table be in the list? I don't think so. Let's say we had 100 other tables here. We don't need them for anything, and they're not active. But the fact is, if this wants it, it probably should be there. Now, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, like, could you have multiple registration tables and stuff like that? But I think table names is not getting registration in it because of the way we produce the table names. We could just include every table and then maybe restrict the selected columns. Okay, that might be easier. Go through, put in every table that we ask for, but selected columns only shows the ones that are marked selected. It will be visible. But will still be will our query still reference them? I think it will. Maybe not. It shouldn't select the name. Okay. Yeah, let's I don't want to lose track of that. Here's currently the table list doesn't include non-visible tables, but it should if they're in a join. Okay, so I think that's the root of it. The old system may have put those in anyway. I don't know no. See, the difference is the old system, you only added tables you said you wanted to add, and so you didn't have to worry that there'd be 100 tables here. It might be better in a way. I don't know. There's something about this where you go in and you just say, I want this one, I don't want that one. That's pretty handy, but it's not general enough. But the good thing is, if you did it that way, then you've only specified the ones you want, and if you're going to make a join, you got to put it in there so that one gets used. Yeah, I think that may be what the difference is. The old way, you put the tables in, and if you're going to use it in a join, you had to put it in, and so it showed up in the list no matter what. The new way, we're saying, we don't need to see all these tables we're not using, but the fact is we are using them if they participate in a join. All right, so I don't think it'll be hard to address that. I don't know what would happen if you put in a bunch of non-used tables. Do they show up in the query, but you don't select from them, so who cares? Maybe. I don't know. It stuff that works for a 20 table database might be a very dangerous thing if it's 200 table database. Okay. Yeah, you're right. We don't want to let it go too far. All right. So, well, I can do this. I remove the old add table and join views. I can say that. All right, but what we haven't done, I'd like to get this database view model. There's so much to juggle, but I feel like we've made kind of a major simplification by going to the structs instead of the classes, and I want to push that all through and then go back to broadening. broadening what we're doing, even restoring some of the capabilities we had earlier but are gone. Okay. Add table doesn't update the view is no longer relevant. Now add table doesn't update the view, and okay. So whatever was going on with those, we got rid of the screen completely, so they are not relevant. Okay. Selecting configurations to another one. So I don't want to remove renaming. Okay, of tables. Yeah. Should we save config when database selection changes? Yeah. Offer a save before opening. Yeah, there's definitely some stuff here in the way. Like right now, open database is equivalent to clicking in the background, and we should address that. I don't know if we can put an X on here or something that we can close, but yeah. All right. I don't know how to best go about this. So database view, let's look at all these at a high level, just a skim. Okay, that's the button toggle. We need that. One table view. Okay, let's sort this list. Well, all joins. Okay, we got the columns. And the joins. Well, let's pull these out. I think I have a tendency to make my structs not just too big. I need to atomize these a little more. And we have this. I've already forgotten the name. Scope, column selector. Okay. Database view. Let that one go. I'm not going to focus on save. Selectable column button, selectable table button. I'm going to leave those together. I think they're similar. Okay, what's your problem? Oh. just because it's views. Okay, he looks good. Yeah, probably should. Okay, now to move on, I'm going to close the simulator and get a split screen going here. Database view model. That's not the one I wanted. This one. Yeah. Okay. All right, and then this is versus database selection. Wherever that got to. Okay. So at this moment, we've got this as an observable object full of struct objects. This is an array of structs. This is an array of structs. All right. And then this converts our struct with this information into the config memento. Oddly, in a way. Okay. Now, I don't know. I want to say, like, what's going on? All right. So I guess in over here, what I've got this active tables thing. Where is that? Active tables. Okay. That's a little weird up there. But active tables model. Okay. My goal is to figure out who's still using that. Let's just see in general at the class level. Okay, it uses it itself, and then database view model uses it. He creates the list of active tables. He publishes the active tables. And then he keeps that list in here. Okay, now I guess the question to me is, who's referencing this? Like, is it a bunch of tests, or is there real code, that production code, and only tests? That can't be right. The class itself must... Oh, that's not a test. Okay. All right. So, all right, what's going on? He keeps track of the tables. He publishes them. He tracks them when you change configuration. He updates the list of tables. Active joins needs them. Active tables. When you add table. Now this one, tables. Add table. Okay, I guess what I want to do, I want to say if true return. I don't know if it'll complain. Okay, on add table and add join. Well, no, let's start with one. I'm just trying to deactivate part, and I don't think it's really, well, okay, there you go. What happened? Are you running? Hang on a second. Okay. Well, it certainly doesn't affect this stuff because this works from data that it's got. It might affect this. Database test DB2 is available. Well, we kind of know that. I don't know why that's a message. Well, let's put this out there. Okay. I don't think it's doing anything. So if add table's not doing anything, I don't think add join is doing anything. Because it's using the old, this is the stuff the old approach used. If true return, same process. Now we had tests out there using both those, so what's going to happen with them, I don't know. All right, let's turn this off. No, better turn it on. All right, I just want to take person. And registration person FK and one join. Registration person FK equals person.id. Okay. I will have to check that code. Those, yeah, they were. That's basically what they were for. Now something's going wrong here. Oh no, it's just a big cross-product-y thing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I think these are basically never used in effect. Well, okay, where is... Not sure the best place to go for this. Yeah, who calls add table? Let's get that straight first. Okay, database view model. Add table. And function add table. Create a new table view model. Notify that we changed things, add that, and make sure the joins still look good. Okay. And then that was basically what the button did, was add table. All right. I don't think it's... I think we just... Okay, I'm going to pull this out. I don't know if anybody calls this now. Model has tables. If has tables. Okay, somebody does. But this table view model now, let's take that out. All right. And let's look for table view model. Not referenced. Okay, so let's open table view model. Does anybody reference it? Yes, active table model. Okay, active tables model. Does anybody reference this? Database view model. Okay, let's get joins, add join out now. Back to any case. Nobody missed it. Okay. I feel like I'm maybe hiding what's going on a little, but all right. Okay, so these do. Well, this is different now. So it's kind of testing a little underground. Database configuration tests, copy test database to test.db. Okay, so these are integration tests. Let's see. I'm sorry, I missed several questions. Were those used to add tables to join the old configuration? Tests are adding joins. Yeah, they're adding them the old way. I guess what's not clear to me is, they're adding them and then they're checking that they actually show up in the database or something. Yeah, we're looking at the toMemento. So we're kind of making sure the table shows up. I don't know if I guess we don't need that test. In our mode, we add to the list of tables, and then we do a check that makes sure the Memento picks up those lists. And I think that's kind of the test we're doing here, in effect. Although they're actually writing and reading it to make sure. But I think I'm going to say this test is outdated, and that we cover this by checking that the memento gets written right so that the data is getting through. Open configures it. Yeah, same thing, I think. We're right. Yeah. Now this next one, oops. Saves the joins. Again, well, version config. I think we are okay. I mean, I'm not a super big fan of the tests that are reading and writing databases. I mean, that's clearly a painful thing. Okay. So that's those. Now this one, database view model tests. Knows working schema with unjoined tests. Yeah, I think those all look like they're just checking, adding joins and tables and making sure everything's together. Okay, so let's make sure these can go. All right. When unjoined tables, yeah. Well, working schema, we haven't really torn into that. They're definitely adding things the old way. Let's take a look at this. All right, now active tables, let's see where our memento initializer is, right? Active tables, we build it. So they're there for that. Yeah, I'm not sure this is the same. This working schema thing is kind of a big setup. Well, what's it testing? It's testing the updates when tables are added. Okay, that is not how we do that anymore. Okay, let me get the easy ones out then. Knows working schema with joined tables. That's a little more ambiguous to me. Changing the database clears the tables and joins. I think that's... I think that's kind of built in. Adding a table warrants of join. Okay. Yeah, this is... There's legitimate... This is a legitimate test of something, right? It's the test of our join rules. I may just comment those out. Yeah, that... I may regret it in the sense of, do I ever come back and get it? But I think they're valid situations that we do want to test. Working schema with unjoined tables. That one I'm not as sure of either. I'll comment for now. and maybe we can get back to them at some point. Let's make sure what's left runs. Does not. What test are you? Well, once again, it's somewhat of a legitimate thing. This is the rename stuff. We're not using it at the moment. We should come back to it. It's I don't know. It's pretty rare for me to leave tests commented out. Oh, we're still. Who are you? This working schema. What's it relying on? It's relying on those tables having added the old way. Yeah, working schema, that's one we don't cover very well. We covered it through this stuff. We don't cover it as a separate thing. Yeah, he's also relying on that. I think they're all going to be relying on that. Table view model. I don't know if I started at the wrong level. I mean, table selection, this is not being done this way at this point. I'm gonna say we don't do things this way anymore. I think the next test has got the same problem. Wow, now you realize this? Okay, who failed? How database returns data. Issue model tests. Okay, what did he come out to? Database is available. So where is that coming from? Is available. We got a bit of a conflict, and we noticed that, or it showed up. We saw that text in red that said database is available. I don't know if it's still here. I think at some point we weren't seeing that. I don't think we need to, because we know it's available because it's yeah, we know it's available because we put it in our list because it was available. So I think the message is just empty. Where's this end? Yeah. I think this should be empty. This is the result, finding that if you do find tables, yes, it's available, but that's not relevant. And then I think that's the last reference to this. Okay. Yeah, it's the NoSQL thing. Before, it was kind of important to know that the database actually showed up. Oh, how do I? And now we only show it because it's there. Are they asserting on? Yeah. Right. So I want to show it. I want to use the messages more for errors than real issues. Okay. So this is kind of a deal. We remove use of add table and add join used by former UI and commented out tests that used it somewhat for other purposes. Okay, it's kind of their way of pushing tables in. All right. I'm gonna close this and kind of catch where we are. All right, so all joins view we don't need. Maybe we'll just keep these three. Well, I lost it. It's close to the right. Okay, so I think database view, we're sort of done for now. And we need database view model. Okay, why are you still complaining? Right, okay. What do people do with this? All right, so we set it initially. What does he do when he starts? Nothing. Okay, just all empty. We publish it. I think what I'm trying to understand is, why is database view model still a view model? Who's observing it? All tables view. Excuse me. Okay, when we get one, we create an active tables model. Yeah, like, when are we doing anything with it? we write the table names. And we check the joins. And then this working schema, that's the one I'm worried about. Yeah, okay. So working schema is kind of where things really get going. From you've done your database configuration and now you want to actually load it in as data. That's what this is giving you. So we need the active tables. I guess the thing I'm trying to get to, I think these tables only do stuff here. We create them and then we write them out. And I don't think anything else. I mean, the joins, yeah, it needs the tables, but can we enforce these rules on our stuff? I think we can. Those functions, yeah, they're fine. And then active tables, enumerated map. So I think all we're doing at this point, and hopefully I'm right on this, we take the active tables when we initialize from our screen, we create our database selection object, and then it goes to toMemento, and then somebody creates a database view model from the memento. At that point, we take the list of tables and we write them all into the active tables list. And let's see that piece again. Active tables. So we create a new one. All right, and this is with everything. I don't know why it needs all this. I mean, the big thing it's doing, right? It's keeping track of these tables. But they're view models. We don't need view models to keep track of the tables. And in my feeling here, this selection and all that stuff, the duplicate checker, that's the rename stuff, the join checker. Now, I don't know, join checker, why is he in here? Let's just look for the text. Join checker. Okay, we call it. A lot of people seem to call that. Constructor. Right. Okay. Because I think table view model. Wow. It's got ID. It's got an index. Selected. Like somewhere it's got the table name and the effective name and which ones are selected as indexes. Right? I don't think any of that is relevant. I think the table name and the effective name are the two that count. And active tables model. I want to do like a radical simplification here and just store those tables. I mean, all they're all we're doing with them is holding them and then writing the schema from them. Working join. What's the working schema? Now, what does he get? Working tables. Hi. All tables. Working tables. There's columns. Well, I think they're... All right. So I think what's going on is this working schema runs through the tables. It attaches an index so it has a working table, and then it runs through the joins, builds up the working joins. Active joins.map. Working join. $0 is an active join. What's this? Join view model. Yeah, these working table view. I don't know, it's just so complicated. And all right, what's this thing? Join view model. Maybe this thing is more, well, all this, right? This left publisher flat map object will sync. This is all this notification stuff that we've completely obviated at this point. And I keep coming back to database view model. Who calls this? Let's go find that. On-demand table. DB view model dot working schema. And let's see how DB view model changes. I think the people whoever has database view model we have database selection. Oh man, I'm contemplating this major change, but like database selection, I guess the question for me is, if you had a database selection, could you generate the working schema? I think the answer is yes. Now, does this thing know the... oh, it doesn't know our database selection in here. Okay, let's run some things in parallel, I guess. That's one of those tools we have, right? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to say, could database selection produce a working schema? And I notice here, element working table. Okay, so element has this method. Which, I don't know if that's pulling its weight. Selected columns, select column indexes. This index stuff is gonna kill me. Yeah, those are the working tables. But the index came from the table view model. But at some point here, we just generate them. Yeah, finding the way through that small step, that's really the trick of this. Okay. But I think the intuition that I have that says if database selection could write a working schema, then the table controller could use that. Wherever that got to. Is it this one? No. Back. Yeah, where's the call to this? Right here. Open database. Yeah, so who calls this? Right, he has selection. Well, I don't know. Is it a step forward? Let's see. Oh, sorry, I lost the comments again. Table view model had the tables you added. Yes. So the subset, the ones you joined. Yeah, it has both those because the old school way you only put in the tables you wanted to talk about. And could you restrict the fields? Yeah, you could restrict fields, but not tables. That's what it was. So you always had the tables you wanted to use, and then only the fields that you requested, but the table was there regardless. I think that's the piece that's kind of missing from our current system. But what I'm wondering is, like open database, I think what I want to say is if you can, any information you can get from the database selection to open your database, let's try doing that. Now it's also, I guess if I got to that point, maybe that's where I should reach for. The real thing here, and it's kind of buried, but this little expression is the piece that converts from the database view side to the working schema side. And working schema is built around only the fields, tables and columns we use. And then database view model is ignored at that point. So all we're getting, all that configuration stuff boils down to creating a working schema, and DB view model has been the tool that does it. All right, I think this gives me a path. All the tables in the choice now. Yeah. So I think I can say open database should take a database selection. I think he can do that. He's got it here. Database view has to have both. He has database selection, open database. That's what we're looking at. And then this call. open database config. Database view model equals opened model. Yeah, we don't have one there. Can we get the two-way version of that? Can we get from a database view model to a database selection? I think we can. Okay, so I'll say the path I see. One approach is make open database take a database selection as well as view model, then have it use as much as possible from selection. Is anything left in the database view model at that point? Okay, that's one thing. I think it's a reasonable thing to do. The next one is this is kind of a different direction. So let me start over a little bit. Database view model. We need database selection. Okay. I wonder if database view model. Database selection looks a lot like database config memento. It's filtering these included tables. Okay, well, that's not a thing to do. Let's say mission 1. Okay. Mission 2 would be address the issue of missing join table references. Okay. That's solving that problem we're seeing. It's not that hard, probably. Okay. Another mission, and we can do any or all of these in any order. The other one is, I don't think, I mean, everything you need for a database config memento is right here. So why not let this be the codable object, or could this be the codable object? I mean, your commitment to being codable is you have lots of primitives or arrays of primitives. I think you're allowed to have objects that contain just primitives and arrays of primitives, and that it all will work out from that. That would be, so I guess the mission would be like make database selection able to be the memento. Okay, so if seeing as everything in there is basically in the structures we need, I mean, he's a table selection. He's not as... All right. If, well, another one, right? I guess the fourth mission is make database selection able to create the working schema. Okay. And if it can do that, that gets us closer. Well, that kind of gets us into this step, I guess. They're related. We'll just put them next to each other. But all right. I think maybe I should have started here. All right. I believe we run tests. I don't think we have anything new going in. I wish we had to. This will go away in a second. Okay. And then do we have anything to check in? I don't think. Oh, to do. Huh, yeah. Okay. I think we'll take this one first. Yeah, let's take the break. We'll take the break, come back, get these missing joins in. I think it makes a slight step towards making mission 1 doable. Actually, mission 1 and 4 are kind of the same, but I think it's a step forward. All right, so 3 or 4 minutes, come back, do mission 2, and then go from there. Welcome back. All right, the missing join table references, well, they're coming from database selection, and it's really this toMemento. It writes out tables, and it only writes tables that are included. Think it's working as designed, unfortunately, or for better or worse. Let's get the test up here. Okay. So we include active tables and columns. So that was a conscious decision, conscious and wrong. Okay. I don't know. I don't know how much to worry about large databases at this point. I don't think they matter to us that much. I mean, for the uses I've had of this, it's pretty minimal. A few tables sufficed. Like, how much do I want to punt to the future of this? I guess if we can't see if a table's inactive until we see a join. All right, I guess lay out the possibles. One possibility is we just live with it and just leave this restriction in. I don't like that one. The second possibility, and sort of the easy way, is we write out all tables, but only the ones with fields we care about get listed. Now, I don't know with these columns. Yeah, I just don't know if that would work. The query that gets generated lists, it's got those visible columns because it's selecting to do those, but does it need those expected columns to do the joins? All right, let's find out. And then third possibility is we go through the tables and we ask the tables and the joins if this table should be considered active. That doesn't sound so bad. And the joins can answer that question by, for a given table, should you be active? Well, he's walking through table selections. Let's see what table selections are. Well, who initializes them, I guess, really? All right. Yeah, so it maps all table metadata to table selections. Yeah, so that's got the full list of stuff. $0 is a table selection. All right, table selection knows the name, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think a valid thing to ask the joins is, given this name, do you want this table? Now, you're not going to have a million joins, so this is just going to be a simple little loop running through those things. All right, so let's ask join. Oh. Yeah, well, I guess we can ask join one question, right? Do you use this table? All right, we have join tests yet. There's not much there. Nope. And to some extent, this is kind of, are you going to go bottom up or top down? I'm kind of going bottom up, saying down at the bottom, somebody's going to have to answer this question. So let's put it in here and go from there. So test knows whether table is used. Okay, so let's make a join. Table 1, column 1. Column 1 doesn't matter. Okay, so I should be able to answer the question of join.uses table 1. True. That. Okay, this is straightforward, so we're going to drive it this way. All right, do you use table 1? Yes. Do you use table 2? Yes. Do you use table unused? No. Okay. Run that. Well, it doesn't compile, so. And just for variety, we'll make it do true. Well, I think it's, is the set enough? I'm still worried about those renames. They're still handled, even though we're not creating them. Yeah, I don't know. Selected. The enumerated user index is used in the queries. Yeah, I think when a query had table 1, table 2, yeah, those correspond to the indexes that are used. And the reason there's some of that is because when you scramble the columns, we keep a map that tells which ones map to which ones, so we know which one to sort by first and stuff like that. But I don't think it's a big deal to... And if we had a set of the right tables, regardless of whether they're renamed or not... I mean, it's interesting. The joins probably want to use the renamed name in the end. We don't have that concept in there yet, at least in that part of the app. I don't know. I think I'm gonna... Let's go back here. Would that be sensible to have that set? Active table selections. Yeah, it's just hard for me to see through. If we had that set, the joins... Well, they're an interesting place, aren't they? They're a little too primitive. These scoped columns are coming off the table. Because I think well, this may be... We have the concept of the table, but we don't have the concept of the renamed table. Maybe I should just let that go for now. That would be... Okay. Let's swap around then. So I think your suggestion is... I mean, add all the tables in the joins. I can let them tell me the set of tables that are used. Is that helpful? Maybe it's helpful enough. I don't want to drive everything crazy at this point. Okay. But it was a surprise to me to kind of wake up realizing, like, wait a minute, the renames are useful and needed. Let's take this back out. So in here... All right. So I think our test is, let's get a table Memento includes active tables and columns. Include inactive tables. Right, but I think it does include. This is like not in joins. But I think we need, well, maybe our driving test is here. Memento includes active tables and joined. Active and joined tables. Okay. Metadata my table. Columns 1, 2. Okay. Call this table 1. All right. Table 2. Drive it a little closer, real. Okay, so this is a the join table. Table selections. Okay, so we want table 1 is selected. Okay, the database selection is table 1, table 2, and we want to say table 2 dot, come on, dot, oh wait. No, that's too primitive. Okay, let's get back out. Let's let table 1 equal this. Okay, and then here, table 2 dot, oh come on, dot includes table equals false. All right. Okay, so we have that. Now we need the joins. Split this up a little. Ugh. Okay, we'll create a database selection. We create the 2 selected instances. All right, let join equal he just wants a join, right? Scoped column. Table2 dot T1 ID equals table1 dot ID. Okay, and we can just assign this directly. Database selection dot joins equals I can do that without breaking the. Okay, now we want table names to equal I'm going to name it differently. This is going to be some table and a join table. Just to get the alphabetical side of this, join table and some table. Join table has no columns, and some table has ID and name. Okay. So I think this will fail today because join table won't show up in the list of tables. Yeah, I thought you might hate that. Okay. Wow. I was supposed to be found nil. Actually, I think I may have screwed myself up with the ordering there. This does have to align alphabetically. I don't know if that's the issue. The test. Oh, does it? Oh, you're right. Okay. I guess making up table names is a bigger problem. All right. Everything else passed, though, right? Yeah. Okay, so this sum table is not included, and then the list should only be one long. Yeah, or currently. All right. Really comma. Okay, so at this point, I think what we're saying is we got joins. So active tables. We're going to table selections. Well, no, dot filter. Dot map. Okay, we want to take each table and get its name and put it in a set. Well, let's just do it like this. Dot union with set of I guess I do want tables used, right? That's this still. I guess that's okay. Table selections dot filter includes table. Okay, now how about these are visible tables? And these are joined tables equals. Yeah, we got to filter it. Okay, so the visible tables and then the joined tables, we're going to take the joins dot, and I guess we're going to map it. I'll put the pieces down here. Visible tables dot union set of join tables, if I can get them. Okay, so the joins, this, I think again, this is a little tricky. Joins.map. Oh, I got a choice, right? Compact map. Not no results. I think I need flat map again. They're not gonna be nil. $0 dot column 1 dot table $0 dot column 2 dot table. Okay. See the type of this. If it's an array of string. Okay, good. All right. Got covered table type. Filter map $0 dot table. Okay, take the tables, get the ones we're using, get their names, then take the joins, get the tables used by the left side or the right side, map them together, make everything into a set. All right, and then this is tables used, right? Is I think this equals tables used. Ugh. Yeah, we could do that. Tables used is the set. And then pull them back out sorted. Now this selected columns is, that's more like this. No, it's tables used. Selected columns. Right, the table name is not enough. Okay, the selected columns needs to have the visible tables. Tables used. We need to go through tables used. Yeah. The problem is these table selections, we don't have a table selection for the table name coming from a set. All right. So I think we need to go through all the tables. Okay, table selections. Out filtered. Let me take this out for a moment. The reason we have a set is so we can test this easily, right? So if $0 dot table tables used dot contains $0 dot table, all right, then it's one we want to use. selected columns. We only want the ones that are actually used. Golly. This is more painful than I want it to be. All right, let's see what we got. Visible tables. I don't see anybody using that except this. All right, take the table selections, filter, keep the ones. Table selections coming in. Yeah, keep the ones that are in use. And then once you have it, ask it for its selected columns. Okay, and then down here, I want to do sorted here. All right, let me put the two sorteds in. Make sure tests pass. Oh, he wants it here, but not here. All right, and I'm just gonna clear these. I don't know why those pop up all the time. Even after I click clear them, they shouldn't. They're not there. One failure. Oh, it is getting it back. Okay. Oh. What is the... Let's get to selected columns. Take the table selection. Filter the ones that are kept. So selected columns contains... includes column. Should not be dependent on the joins. Yeah, because they should be not visible, but I think the situation is if you, let's say you make the join table unused or non-visible, yeah, if the join table is not visible, but its fields are still, were never clicked off separately, what happens to them? I mean, is select includes column detects that, but selected columns does not, and probably should not. So selected columns may be the wrong... this is a lot to drive from one test like that, but I think it's right. The deal is, okay, we're only going to take table selections, only keep the tables that are used, because they're the ones that are going to be written out. Okay, so now we have the right number of tables, and I mean, this is the hard case, right? It's columns are still selected, yeah. So they are, and they should be, according to the way I want it to work. Because if you turn that table on, I want it to keep the selection it had. So that's definitely part of it. So that means I've got to look at the selected state, the includes column, to decide. Now, can I get that? It's like, where's the right place for this decision? Is this a derived thing that's like the active columns? Maybe that's the place to put it. You can be selected but inactive. Yeah, remove any column. Well, yeah. But I think the way we calculate this, we're only going to be looking at the included tables. I'm sorry, we're going to take the included tables and the joined tables. And if a table is joined but not included, we really just want to be nothing. Maybe this, I'm not sure the right place to say it, but I think what we're saying is, if $0 dot includes table, return maybe I can say it the other way. Return $0 includes table. Yes, then we'll take the column sorted and I don't know, sometimes I read it like this and I kind of like it. Otherwise, empty. I think that's kind of what we're saying is the case. It's used, but we don't want its columns. And maybe this is the right place to say that. Yeah, he may complain about that return. Yeah. Okay, that was awfully hard. I mean, it seemed hard. Now, join tables, array of string. He doesn't need to be. Yeah, the joins could answer that. I also want to make it like a set and just joins dot reduce, but the flat map gets in the way. The need for a flat map. All right, let's run this. This is supposed to fix the problem, so let's see if it fixed the problem. Put this back on the Xcode here. All right, so before, if we included class and person but not registration, but we added the two joins, class ID, person ID. All right, does that catch everything? I mean, we don't really want these fields either. Let's go for everything. Oh, that's promising. That's good. So we got the name of the class and the name of the student. All right, so come on. All right, this gives me basically a roster. Now we have name, so you can see why we would like the rename. This could be class and student, and it would look much better. Move any column inside. Okay. But yeah, we know the join is happening because we've got the two different tables here. Nothing from the registration table, and it's all how we would like. Okay, now. So, okay, it passed the test and it's working. Let's commit that and then see what we can clean up in it some more. Make the memento from database selection, include tables but not columns for tables used in joins. It's time. Okay. Now, this, how can we make this better? All right, the visible tables are the ones that are included. Now these, nobody else is looking at filtering by includes table. Okay. And this really is a combination of table selection and join stuff. Let's at least extract a private method here. So, I mean, this is visible tables tables used. We want both those, don't we? Or do we use visible tables outside of this paragraph? No simple results? Come on. All right, well, we should be able to extract then if that's the case. Join tables. I don't know what I'm missing here. Tables used. Okay, that works. I'm going to take out these extra declarations. I think tables used by queries. Yeah. Oh, the queries don't come into it yet. How about referenced tables? Yeah, I don't like the and in there. All right, done. All right, so this was an extract method. I don't know, can I edit it in here? weird. Well, it's a little harder than I wanted, but it's okay. All right, well, let's click that, take that for the to do. So I guess the solution we did was we make toMemento include tables mentioned in joins but not otherwise visible. And then that was this. The line is still there. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't edit during. Let's straighten that out. Okay. All right. So that leaves still marked as an uncommitted change. How weird. I think Xcode's kind of losing it a little. I probably shouldn't have done that, but that shouldn't cause all this. All right. Well, I think where we'll pick up next week, we'll go back to this issue that we'd like to kind of switch over from the database view model to the database selection. Part of that is producing the working schema. Basically, we're going to try and produce the working schema. If there's information we don't have, we're going to find a way to get it. But because we produced this memento that contains all the information in the database view model, I don't think there's any issue, any conceptual barrier to switching over to database selection. And then at that point, nobody's using database view model anymore. So I think we can clean that out. We probably need to check these join constraints and use whatever's, extract what we can from that. But I think there's nothing else that we have to worry about. So we'll go to try next week. I mean, we're knocking off little pieces and hopefully getting to the big piece of getting rid of database view model. We'll see. It's going to take a little bit of work. Well, thanks for joining this week, and we will pick up next week. Should be the same hours, 2 to 4:30 Eastern time or 7 to 9:30 p.m. UTC. Thanks for joining. Have a good weekend. Yeah, thanks for this week too. Bye-bye.